Hey, how's it going everyone? This is the Anime Man. So if you guys know out there are a lot of live action adaptations of anime series and manga series. And it is most commonly seen that when looking at it in the general perspective, they're all shit. Attack on Titan live action movie, terrible. Parasite live action movie, terrible. Dragon Ball Z... It seems that no matter how many movie directors try, and no matter how many movie industries try, and no matter how many series we try, we really can't get a very decent or even good live action movie. So I wanted to explore this and find out if it was actually a coincidence or maybe there is some reason as to why most live action anime movies suck. And believe it or not, I think I found some pretty definitive reasons as to why most live action anime movies do suck. Starting with really the biggest root of the problem, the basic settings and the character designs. The stories, characters and settings that we see in most anime series are written for anime, and thus why those characters, settings and stories work so well in that medium. Thus, I think it's really difficult to try and switch that around to a different medium and make it work just as well or even better. Most anime settings and characters and stories are really far-fetched, really far away from real life scenarios, and so when those characters and settings turn into what we recognize as real life, they become a little bit weird. I think this is the same reason why a lot of live action movies based off American cartoons also don't work when turned into live action. You guys remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? Yeah, that was an abomination. The second biggest reason, which I think a lot of people can actually relate to, is that they try and change the story. Now, the most common reasons why a lot of directors and writers for these live action adaptations change the story around from the original source is because they think that viewers don't want to see the same story from that anime or from that manga, which in my opinion really defies the meaning of a live action adaptation. The point of an adaptation is to take that story, take those characters and take that setting and adapt it into a different medium. If you change the story or if you change the characters around in such a drastic way where viewers who have seen the original can't recognize it, that's not a live action adaptation. A fantastic example is the Attack on Titan live action movie, where they changed around characters, got rid of some major characters, and really changed the story around to try and make it new, but also Attack on Titan, which failed horribly. I actually did a rant about it, which you guys can check out by clicking that annotation or the links in the description. But all I want to say is, don't fix something that isn't broken. We fell in love with this series, or we fell in love with this story because of the story, because of the characters that were there. And if you change that around, then most likely we're not going to enjoy it. And unfortunately, it's really up to the director's vision and the way he sees the story that really changes the original story for a live action adaptation, for better or worse, but usually for worse. And the third reason I believe why most live action adaptations suck is simply bad choices. Now, I understand that they're trying to aim for the most popular series at the current moment, like reasons why Attack on Titan became a live action movie and Parasite became a live action movie, because the anime series and the manga series was getting so popular and creating this boom. And so naturally, they would grab that title that is so popular and so well known already in that particular medium and try and extend that name over to the live action scene, which unfortunately is the biggest problem. Unfortunately, most popular series that do decide to be turned into a live action movie are very, very difficult to adapt, whether it be because of the story or the genre or even the lack of funding. There are so many live action movies, I believe, that would have done so much better if the funding was just a little bit higher. And unfortunately, a lot of live action adaptations that require quite high budgets to get the setting correct, to get the feel of the characters correct, and to get the real feel of the original series correct, have rather low budgeting. This is why I believe the live action adaptation for Rurouni Kenshin or Samurai X was really good, because they stuck to the three reasons that I gave out. The setting isn't too far-fetched for a live action movie. There have been heaps of samurai movies in the past. The budgeting was actually pretty decent, and the feel and the overall story, yes, they may have changed the story around a little bit, but they nailed the characters and they nailed the feeling of the series that we got when reading the original manga or watching the original anime. That feeling of Rurouni Kenshin was there. So I think movie producers who are aiming to look at live action adaptations really need to look into those things to make sure that their live action adaptation becomes a success. There have been talks of an Evangelion live action movie and a Ghost in the Shell live action movie. Do I think they're gonna do well? Maybe. I don't know. It depends on whether they can maintain the feeling of the original series and to really make it a genuine adaptation, not just a live action movie with the name of the series slapped on top. Guys, let me know in the comments below, is there a live action movie that you really liked? Is there a live action movie that you absolutely despised? And if you could turn any one series into a live action movie that you think is going to be successful, then I want you guys to let me know. All of that in the comments below. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. As always, like and favorite if you enjoy, subscribe for more anime banner, and I'll see you guys next video whatever I make. Keep watching anime. Ciao!